Great afternoon. Happy and blessed Wednesday, everybody. For those who are new here, welcome. My name is Catherine Barnett, and I go by Cat Barnett. And this is the Cat Barnett Podcast, episode 85, coming to you live. Nah, for real. But I'm just blessed to be here. And, I also help women who struggle with faith with confidence in their faith and fitness, develop strategies and systems that lead them to gain clarity, direction, and purpose so that they can be fulfilled as they walk in their calling faithfully. And each and every week when I come here, I don't take this for granted. I really hope y'all notice. And each and every week, I try to be very transparent and honest with y'all because I know being vulnerable is a superpower. And I think, by also coming on here, being honest and just, you know, telling y'all each and every one of y'all my story and always um, letting y'all into my life, whether I'm going through a storm, in a storm, or just came out of a storm. I always try to give you guys advice or life experience, things that I've been through or experience that you guys can overcome. So just to be quite honest and uh, transparent with you guys, last week I feel like was a very, very tough week for me. Um, in all that I've had in a very, very long time. Uh, Whether it had to do with professional and personal life, a little bit of both, to be honest. And it was just very, very tough. So I even think some relationships weren't destroyed, but they're kind of tainted right now that uh, it does require forgiveness for me to forgive them if I want the relationship still to work. Because I feel like both parties, like anyone who's like hurt me, whether it's like this week or just in general lately, has apologized or has you know been, I think, truly sorry. So it now the ball's like you literally in my court, and meaning where it's up to me to forgive them. It's not for them, it's for me. And I think that's really what people need to start understanding, that forgiveness is never for you, or for, I mean, it is for you. It's never for that person, because it's to free you. So really, I want to go over, because I think people tend to overlook why forgiveness is so important for yourself, and to free your mind and yourself. So I want to go over 5 reasons why it is important to forgive others, especially when they hurt you or disappoint you, because unfortunately and quite frankly, everyone in life is going to hurt you some shape or form, because they even hurt and betrayed Jesus Christ himself, who died for all of us. So I always think, if they even hurt and betrayed Jesus Christ, why do I think that I won't go through any suffering or any hardship in life? So I tend to, when I think like that, it's easier for me to forgive others. So I won't go into the context of like what I'm going through or process, but just know, y'all, I go through it also, and I'm in it right now on praying every day to forgive certain individuals in my life, and just asking God for that strength and that guidance. And so I think, getting back to you all and how I can help and serve you all, is, can you forgive someone who has hurt you so profoundly as to have like caused a deep seated damage to your body, your heart, your mind, and soul? And I am be honest, truthfully. I wonder if people can answer that truthfully, and if so, what form would the forgiveness take? Does forgiveness mean forgetting, or how do you move on from the hurt and sorrow that someone caused to you? So, I think, and this is purely just my opinion of forgiveness, is that finding forgiveness is an essential and a very important thing to do for your own well-being and for your future health and sanity, not for anyone else's, for yourself. And I'll go into what I mean by that. So just jumping right into it, let's go into those 5 reasons why being able to forgive frees you to move on in your life. So number one, when you forgive someone, you forgive yourself. And that may sound like a nice little catchy phrase, but it's really true. Doing my research, and I'm big on psychology and the mind. So just doing my research, it showed that bearing a grudge against someone who has hurt you is not just about what they have done to you. It's also about what you have allowed to happen to you. And I know that's hard for some people to hear, but it's true. So sometimes you can't help what happens to you in a relationship, because you're just going along doing what you do, whether that's in a platonic relationship or a romantic relationship. Um, and you don't always know when someone is angry with you if they're not good at communicating that, um, or resentful towards you or jealous of you, unless that they tell you. So often they don't tell you until there's a breaking point, or often a betrayal, and that's when it all comes out, usually. So forgiving yourself is allowing that you didn't know whatever was going on, you didn't understand, you didn't act in a way that could have short circuited that the conflict. So when you forgive yourself, you allow resentment and hurt to be replaced, by healing, and which is so important because you are then taking an action that will course correct your life and your well-being. So if you're watching this live, let me know. Put a V. Um, if you're getting value, if you're watching the replay, put an R. And yeah, I hope y'all picking down what I'm putting down, because forgiveness is really really crucial in just the healing journey. And as we get older, it's so important to forgive ourselves and other people. Number two is forgiving gets you out of the victim mode and that victim mentality. So forgiveness breaks the bonds that tie you negatively to another person. So you can forgive while not forgetting. So there was some things that happened to me this past week, and even leading into this week, that honestly have hurt me. But you know, I can forgive those things, but I'm not gonna forget them. But I can forgive, so now that I can set healthy boundaries moving forward, so I don't get hurt the same way that I've been hurt by those certain individuals, if that makes sense. So what happened to you happened, whatever happened. So there's no denying that, and you should not try to pretend also that everything is back to normal. But um, because we know it isn't normal. But you may forgive someone and never choose to see them again, and that's your choice, and you can decide to do that, because after all, it is said and done. If that's what's going to help with your healing journey, that's what's needed, and that's okay. So it's more of a matter of whether or not you can ever trust that person or set of circumstances again. That's kind of where I fall with whenever something requires forgiveness is more of that trust barrier. Can I learn to trust that person again? So when you're no longer a victim and have that victim mentality mindset, you're no longer controlled by negative energy, and you can focus on becoming stronger, on establishing your own integrity, on building your own character so that you know yourself better. And I think and so that you know yourself well enough at least to never allow yourself to be caught in a situation of like a terrible compromise or pain when you are not playing that victim mentality. And I think just tying off of that, that came to my mind, that has been popping up a lot lately is that self awareness. I think a lot of people right now in life aren't self aware, or they don't really know themselves. So they don't. If you don't know yourself, how are you really gonna know what other people are like, or how to interact or communicate with others? So it's important that you really continue to learn and grow and be self aware and know yourself. Number three, forgiveness frees you. And I think this is an important one. And this is the big one that I was talking about when I even started this episode, because it allows you to take your power back. And what I mean by that is the energy and emotion that you have so deeply invested in a certain person or situation is now free to be moved to someone or something. And something in this case for me is God, that is positive for your growth and emotional, psychological, and physical health. So you are no longer chained to an entity that you know sucks your energy and takes the life out of you. And when you like basically when you forgive and you let go and give it up to God, you are freeing yourself, excuse me, that um from that person or situation that will allow you for allow you for them to control you. And in a whole, it allows you to see the whole situation in a different light. And instead of focusing on all the negatives, forgive forgiving them and forgiveness may allow you to remember all of the positives that once were and probably still are there, if you take the time to forgive them and really, you know, not saying that they didn't hurt you and not saying that it's valid, but really take the time to, you know, understand if, will you still be upset about it in a week's time, in a year, so in 3, in 5? If not, maybe you should let it go and just forgive the person if you're not going to be upset about it moving forward in that time frame. Um, with number 4, and I love this one, and doing my research, it helped me understand this. Forgiveness helps your health. Yes, if you didn't know this, to forgive others and forgive yourself, it helps with your health, because negative emotions rob your energy and take a toll on your body, mind, and spirit. And I can relate, and I have been a victim of that. So, anger, anxiety, depression, and undue stress generate a negative influence on your body. So these can cause elevated blood pressure, heart rate, and the feeling of being out of control. And, all that intensity can really run the gamut from mild discomfort to a very intense physical reaction then in your body. So, having someone that you care about at odds with you is at the very least, very uncomfortable, to say the least. And most of us can relate to a feeling of relief when a weight is lifted from our shoulders, and we breathe a sigh of relief when we forgive that person or we reconcile with that person, and that weight is just lifted. So forgiving someone else can help heal and your health. So keep that in mind. And the fifth and final one before I wrap this episode up is forgiveness helps you move forward on your spiritual path. And I don't know if everyone on here is a believer, but most of the people who watch my podcast know that I am a Christian. I am a Jesus Christ follower, lover, and a God. God is dope on my hoodie right now. I have a cross hanging up above my door. So everybody who watches my podcast knows, I'll never push my faith on anyone, but I am unapologetically a believer, and I am a very spiritual human being as well. Um, so I do really love that forgiveness does help you move forward on your spiritual path, because forgiveness encourages compassion, and you are able to relate to others as part of the human experience, because we are all human beings and human creatures, or spiritual human beings if you are a spiritual believer. So if you are all well-rounded, for the most part, good human being, you feel for others as you do for yourself. So emotionally and psychologically, um, you can begin to, put the past behind you when you are healing from the past. So forgiveness is an act of kindness and goodness, because it also, I truly believe, forgiveness is a path to peace. And as you all know, I will constantly encourage you guys to make your peace a non-negotiable with everyone, because a peace of mind is a lovely thing, and it's the best feeling. And it's the place I always want to feel and be at. Um, and to be honest with you guys, I'm not there right now. I'm not at peace with certain things and certain people right now. So for believers that are watching my episode, just please, I ask that y'all pray for me. Continue to give uh, God, continue to pray for me that God gives me the strength to continue to forgive these people that hurt me, and to continue to, never harden my heart no matter what people do to me. Continue to just be that light that God shines through me, and, you know, uh, be that vessel that He continues to use. So, yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for always tuning in. And as always, God bless you guys, and peace, love, and blessings. And I will see you guys right back here for another fun filled, value packed episode. Peace.